Hi everyone, Dylan of Harmonic Design here. This is a quick video to kind of act as both a demo and a tutorial of the hd-quiz-quiz-styler-addon. This is my first kind of premium or professional add-on I've ever done, so I hope that A, you think that it's really cool and feature rich, and B, I hope that you think it's good value. I definitely kind of went all out and gave a lot of options and customizability with this thing. So once you've installed and activated the add-on, a new sub-menu will appear here under HD Quiz called Styler. That's the page we're on right now. Now on this page, you'll have reset the default, which will just basically remove any settings that you've added here, save, and of course the actual options and settings themselves. So first we have questions, which will allow you to do things like change the background color, question title, add extra padding and spacing, font size, all that kind of stuff. We then have answers, which will allow you to change the specific answer stuff. You'll be able to change the different toggle styles, which I'm really proud of. You'll be able to change the color. So for instance, the default back looks like this. You can change it to look like whatever you want. Here we have layout, which is kind of the way that things are positioned. So the default layout is kind of featured image, question title, answers. One of my favorites is the left layout, which is basically featured image, and then it's two columns. The left column being the question title, and the right column being where the answers are. Here we have results, which is almost the exact same as what questions are. Basically, if you change or customize anything in the questions, so for instance, you add a custom background color, the results will inherit those same styles. However, for some of you, there may be times where you want the results to look differently styled than the questions. You might want to use, I don't know, a different font color or a different background size. Well, you can always override that here, so you can set completely custom information for the results. Next, we have the buttons, so that would be the next, finish, that kind of thing. So you can set the background color, the font color, and you can also give it like a kind of rounded corner edge as well. Lastly, we have custom CSS, and this has really two advantages. First is that if you add CSS to your kind of theme style sheet, then that CSS is always loading, always downloading, even if there isn't a quiz. But any CSS that you put here will only ever load when HD Quiz loads. So it just kind of helps keep your site clean and fast. Another advantage of this is that if you contact me for support, for instance, maybe your theme is coded in a way where it's just like absolutely forcing a certain font color, or it's absolutely forcing a certain spacing or padding or something like that. Well, if you contact me, I can take a look and I can kind of give you some custom CSS that'll kind of force your theme to play nicely. And you can just copy and paste that right in here and you should be good to go. It'll work. Underneath these options and settings, I basically have an example of what a quiz looks like. So it's just 3 questions and a finish button. And this is just to show you how a quiz normally looks. This is what a quiz looks like when it's not being interfered with by your theme and before we set any custom options. But the design of this quiz will actually update as we make changes, which is pretty cool. So you get to see what it looks like fairly much live. The only thing that you need to be aware of is font sizes. Font size is the only thing where if you type in like a custom number, it won't actually update here. You'll need to save and refresh the page. I'll spare you the details on why font size is special about that. So just keep that in mind, that if you make a change to the font size and you scroll down and you're confused at why it didn't update here, that's why you just need to kind of you just need to save and refresh the page, and that'll work. So let's do an example. What would be a good example? Let's do like a dark theme. HD Quiz has kind of like a light, bright background, so it's meant to be like a light background, dark foreground. But maybe you're running a theme that is the opposite. Maybe you're running a theme that uses dark backgrounds, light fonts. So what we can do is we can actually make a custom version of HD Quiz here that will mix in a lot better with your theme. So the first thing we'll want to do is we'll want to change the background color of the questions. So we can click on where it says question back, and we can just click this bar here, and that'll open up your browser's native color picker. So this is what it looks like for me. I'm running a browser called Vivaldi, which is a fork of Chromium. But this might look a little different in Firefox, and it might look a little different in Safari. but generally speaking, the functionality is the same. For anyone who's using a Chromium, so if you're using Google Chrome or Vivaldi or anything else based off of Chrome, just a little tip, if you, down here on the bottom where it says RGB, if you actually click this, it'll allow you to like change the way. So for instance, if you want to just do like a hex value, you could just, you know, type in the hex value directly here. But we're going to do, we're just going to use the color picker for simplicity for this video. So I'm just going to choose, I don't know, sure, that looks fine. I'll choose that color. So now if I scroll down, you'll see that just like magic, the background of the quiz has changed in that color we chose. But uh-oh, we have a problem. Our fonts aren't visible anymore because our fonts are dark and our background is dark. We can't see it. So we can scroll back to the top and we can choose question, title, color, and we can choose a lighter color. So we can just choose white, or we can do, let's do something more fun. Let's do like a super light pink, like the kind of, like it's almost white, it's so light. And there we go. Now we can see the question title. Just a couple other options that we can do. We can change the font size. We can set a custom background image, which I'll show you that later. We can change the featured image rounded corner. So this is the featured image, and we can set it to, I don't know, 55. And you'll see it turned it into like a nice little oval. It added a 55% curve to each of the corners. We can also do question padding. So the padding is like the distance between you know, the top of the image to the edge. You know, the far left of the title to the left. It's like the kind of padding around there. So for instance, if I set this to 0, you'll see it got rid of the padding and everything's now at the edges. Or I could set it to something like, I don't know, 88. And now we got a lot of extra padding around there. Or we could set it to 44 or whatever. You know, play around with it, choose whatever number you think looks good. But we still have a problem here, and that's the answers themselves. We can't really see the color, we can't really see the text of the answers anymore, because just like we had with the question title, the answers aren't you know, the right font color. So I'm going to select answers here now, and we got answer text color. And I'm going to choose another super light, I don't know, this time we'll go light blue. And there you have it. We now have a light blue, and we can actually see and read the answers. But probably one of the coolest things at least I think one of the coolest things, that we have these different kind of toggle buttons. So you can choose and completely change the design of the toggles. Make them look however you like. So for instance, this is I think this one is one that'll look pretty good. And you can also change the color. So the primary color, and in our case, this kind of white square, that's the primary color. And the secondary color is that kind of background, what is that, a bluish gray color? I don't know, whatever color this is, that would be the background color. So just as an example, we can do, I don't know, let's do super light green. And let's do, I don't know, what would not look terrible? Sure, why not? So there we go, so that's what it looks like now. So now we got like a super light green and a kind of purplish background. So I think that looks, so, you know, this looks pretty damn cool so far. So now we can go and we can do the layout. So like I said, the left layout is one of my favorites. So let's select the left layout and take a look at how that looks. So as you can see, we now have the question on the left and the answers on the right. And I just think that looks really nice and looks pretty unique. I mean, already you can tell, like, even if you know, someone uses HD Quiz on their own website, if you were to show them this, I honestly doubt they'd be able to tell that you're using HD Quiz. It just looks so completely different than what the default plugin looks like. So you can play around and, you know, test with different layouts and choose whichever one you like. You know, everyone's different. The last thing I want to do is maybe the buttons. So let's click on buttons. Let's build a custom button. So for instance, just to show you, this is what the button looks like by default. So let's take a look and maybe change that to something else. Maybe we want to do, what could be, I don't know, let's do like a light blue and a just black, and maybe, I don't know, a subtle like 8 pixel rounded corners. And now that's what the finished button looks like. So once again, very robust. We can make a lot of changes. I mean, this looks completely different than it did before. So I don't want to save these changes, so I'm going to click on reset the default to change everything back to normal, because I want to show you another really kind of cool thing that we can do with HD Quiz. And that's the question background image. So I'm going to click on set image, and it'll let you choose any image from your library, or you can of course upload a new one. I'm going to choose this kind of paper image. And now that's what the background looks like. You know, if you wanted to use a sunset, you could just choose a picture of a sunset. Just remember that depending on the background image, like this sunset image isn't a very good image to use because it's so busy. There's a lot of stuff that's busy there, and there's such a big difference between the light parts and the dark parts of the image that it's going to be hard to find a font color that will look good, you know, with this image. But you know, your mileage will vary depending on what image you choose and, you know, what your design preferences are. And if you wanted to, let's just say you were tasteless, you had absolutely no class, you have absolutely no taste, you're the worst designer in the world, but you like to have fun. Well, we could do something kind of crazy, like use an animated GIF. So here's an animated GIF of cheering minions. And, well, that's what they look like now. So let's go in and make this look as good as we possibly can. So I'm going to go and I'm going to change the, you know, the text colors here to white so that they are a bit easier to see against the minions. So that's what that looks like now. We can also do some other really cool stuff. So for instance, we could do, we can actually give the entire question a rounded corner. So let's do something like, let's go bigger, let's go bigger. So we could do something like that. We can give this rounded corners, and we can add some extra padding here, like, I don't know, 88. So now that's what this looks like. So yeah, you can do a lot of things. You could completely customize HD Quiz to look however you like. And of course, if you have any questions or something isn't playing nice for you, you can always contact me for support, and I can tell you, you know, how to fix that. And there's a quick support link right up here. All right, so thanks for taking the time to watch this. I hope that you, you know, enjoyed this video, or at least figured out that, you know, whatever customizations you want to make the HD Quiz, you can make it with this add-on. And good luck.